Hello, hello, commanders. Listen, I am excited to be sharing today's content with you. Whether you are watching live or you watch a replay, I'm excited because I am getting ready to share some stories with you of something that I have personally been experiencing and battling for the last 10 years. 10 years, 10 years, 10 years. So today I'm here to set some people free. So if you are watching me for the first time, my name is Hennifer Bianca Gant. I have a few YouTube channels, but this particular channel for Henny B Speaks, I'm specifically just here to encourage those of you that might be watching, encourage you to incorporate God in your everyday life. So I'll do that through, just different maybe messages that I'm reading from the Bible or some personal experiences, you name it, right? I do all things encouragement rather. So I am recording a series specifically about something I've been dealing with for 10 years. And if you saw it in the title, you know a little bit about what it's about. I'm going to share a little bit about my story, maybe in a future video, but just know that I have been, our son is almost 11. And literally for the past 10 years plus, literally, I have been in and out of the courtroom for custody, what I consider a custody battle. So I have some experience. But one of the things that I know is that it was just it felt like such a lonely journey, right? Because when you are experiencing something like custody battle, when you have to go in and out of court to battle with somebody that you used to have a relationship with, and you have this child in the middle, there's just so much that can get lost in translation. There's a lot that can get lost emotionally. There's just a whole lot that can get lost, including the fact that it's about the child, including that. So I'm just going to be sharing some series of content. I'm hoping that it blesses you, that it encourages you, that if you too are still experiencing custody battles, I'm hoping that something that I share will be encouraging for you to keep through with the journey. Do not be weary in well doing. Do not be weary in well doing. Okay. So, first things first, I just want to talk to you all about keeping your emotions out of it. And I know, and again, because I've lived it, I can say it to you, right? And I'm not going to say that this is the easiest thing to do. It is not easy to keep your emotions out of it. You're talking about your child, right? And by all means, I know everybody's circumstances is completely different. I'm telling you, I have a gamut. I'm trying to tell y'all, I got a gamut of things that I've experienced and reasons why, different custody arrangements were made, so on and so forth. But I'm not going to get into that too much. But what I will say is that I had to learn the hard way to keep your emotions out of it. Now, one of the things I will say is that I have to go back and count. But over the past 10 years, I can easily say that I've been to court minimum 20 times. Easily. I'm pretty sure it's been more than that. Easily, at least 20 minimum times, right? At least, at least. I know the number is much larger, but again, I don't want to give you a fictitious number. And when I first started going to court, I was going by myself because I found myself as a single mother and I had no money to be paying for an attorney to show up with me in court, right? So what I would do is I would get consultation from my law firm. I have Legal Shield. And we offer it too. Hint, hint, wink, wink. But I do not give legal advice. This is not about legal advice, okay? But I would get advice about the paperwork to file and what to expect, so on and so forth. And then I would show up by myself. But what I realized, oh my gosh, and I just learned the hard way, is that like I was too emotional to be showing up there talking by myself. I was not as emotionally intelligent as I am now. I'm not even as mature as I was, then. Even though there were matters that I felt like the judge should have just seen through my lens. And I nothing really um came out negatively necessarily for me, but it was just the fact that there were lies being told. And when a lie was being told, or something was exaggerated, I mean, my whole face would just turn. I would just get emotional. I would stop in the middle of whatever whoever has to say, like, that's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie for the pit of hell. Or there would be something that was said to me to agitate me, like on their way out. They would say something a little slick and slide, so that way it was like during break, because like we've had like full-blown trials, like for real, right? And I will say that most of those times I was the one brought to court. So something would be said to me as they were exiting during our break. So when it's time to resume session, I'm all like fired up, like, did he just say that to me? Y'all, I'm trying to tell you, I got stories for days. I really do have stories for days. And I realized that I just was not there. I was not there. So I had to figure something out and get an attorney, because I had to keep my emotions out of it. It just was not healthy. I realized that he recognized the triggers, right? When you know somebody, you know that if you say something about that particular subject, that they not going to be quiet. Well, that was me. It was very clear, that. And I realized again too late that it was the same thing over and over again, right? It's like, if you question, if you say something negative about my mothering, or you say something negative about my new relationship, or you say something negative, and those are really the biggest things, but for some reason it was just a trigger for me, and I would lose it. So when that happens, and again, although there weren't anything that was like a negative light per se for me, but it was still not the decorum in which I wanted to present myself, if that makes any sense. So again, that was my early years in the custody game. Now when I show up, I do show up with an attorney, and I have the attorney speak for me. Although, and then if I have to get on the stand, I just share what I have to say. I share the facts without emotions. I really do. And it's not that I'm trying to just be cold as ice or anything like that. I just want to make sure that points are being clearly communicated without the distraction of emotions. So I want to encourage you that if you are if you can't hold your tongue, you can't keep emotions out of it, especially in the courtroom, my tip number one is, please get yourself an attorney, have them speak on your behalf, right? And try your best not to look at the other person, while they are, speaking, things of that nature. Just try your best to keep your cool, because at the end of the day, it's really not about you, right? Unless they are, doing something to like defame your character, or, so on and so forth. They're trying to get you arrested. It might impact your criminal, history or something like that. But other than that, it's about your child. It's about your child. So it is truly important for you to keep your emotions out. And I know it's so hard, especially when somebody just lying bold face in front of everybody. So the reason why I can talk so confidently about it now is because there is nothing, I'm telling you what, you don't have to fight the way you think you have to fight. When you know that you are doing the right thing, you just have to wait. And sometimes you really just have to wait it out. But your emotions, it's like a waste of time. Like, you're just, God will avenge. He will fight you. When I'm telling you, I am a living witness that God will end up being your lawyer, will be your judge. I mean, things have happened in the courtroom that I could not have ever imagined, and I know it was only but God, because it was just the lies that were told that I felt like were so believable. Like, oh my gosh, I know they're gonna believe it, and it was just like, the judge would be like, no, but here's what you said, blah, 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 blah. Tell me more about this. And then the truth would just get revealed. And guess what? I had to say absolutely nothing. But in the early stages of the game, I felt like I had to be the one to correct. I had to be the one to say something. And it truly was not it was not helping anybody's situation. So again, I want to encourage you to keep your emotions under check. If you have a prayer life, I need you to get in your prayer closet, but not just to pray. I need you to get in the word and see what the word says, right? About being slow to speak, quick to listen, slow to become angry. I want you to go back and look at scriptures that says that, vengeance is mine, says the Lord. I want you to go back and look at scriptures about forgiveness, because once all of those scriptures resonate in your spirit, then it's easier for you to remain quiet. It's easier for you to know that it's all under control. There's a word that also says that those that keep their eyes focused on Jesus, they would remain in perfect peace. Perfect peace. Perfect peace. That means that even when there is chaos around you, your words are peace, that your being is peace, that somebody could be spitting a lie across from you, and you're just at peace, like, I already know God's got this. And seriously, as hard as it is, again, I know what it's like, especially when it's about your child. But I want to encourage you that if you are experiencing any type of custody battle and you find yourself just being a whole emotional wreck and a whole emotional mess, take your emotions out of it, please. And if you can't do it by yourself, have somebody else speak on your behalf. In fact, I had to ensure, because I used to get text messages with like name calling if I didn't respond right away or whatever. And again, that was a trigger. I don't like anybody calling me out of my name. So if I was to get a text message like that, I used to think that I had to respond. So what I ended up doing is I started getting a lot mature. I blocked the number. I'm like, you will only now speak to me through email. So that way we can have all of this in writing. Because when I go back to court and I tell them that you call me this name, you go in and lie and this, that, and the other. And again, that was my emotions. I'm going tattle and he called me this. And it's like, so what does this have to do with the child? When you really step back and like, okay, how does this impact the child? How does this impact the child? Right? How does this impact the child? How does this impact the child? Now, clearly, you want to be on one accord in order to make decisions, things of that nature. We didn't necessarily have to do that legally, on my end. We didn't have to make joint decisions or anything like that. So that was helpful. So I had to really take a step back and say, you know what? Like, this is just senseless. I'm going to block the number. You're only going to communicate with me via email. And that was it. And literally, it's been just that ever since then. Right. So you don't have that level of access to me any longer to produce triggers, because you knew what my triggers were. So those are just some practical things that you could possibly employ. Again, having someone speak for you, blocking someone's number. If you just know that you're going to get triggered by something, right? Those things I know definitely help me. I feel like I could show up in court now, though, and be able to speak on my own behalf, but I just choose to use an attorney continuing just in case it is another uncovered trigger that I didn't discover over the last 10 years. But no, I hope that this was helpful for you. I want to hear from you, though. Comment below. Let me know. Are you the emotional one when it comes to the custody battles? If that is you, I want to know, how have you been able to not wear your emotions on your sleeve in something so emotional like a custody battle? Any tips you have, why don't you comment them below? I'm sure that I would love to see them and others would like to see them as well. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, don't forget to command your day.